And hello, hello, and welcome to Small Business Chat. We're here for another, well, I'd say a little show, really, a little session, a little coffee chat show, just to really go through how we can help businesses with their, like, to inspire them, give them skills, or inform them onto how to improve their business, especially those that are businesses with passion, purpose. And we wanted today to talk about automating your website. And I think this is a really interesting phase because I hear automating your website, and I've got to say, there is nothing better when a customer comes to visit you on the website and you've streamlined and facilitated that process so that they can engage with you or connect with you or even buy from you even better. And they probably tell you, oh, this is great. And I always feel like business owners often use the website as a showcase rather than think about the process behind it. So who better to talk about this than our own Kaz with Karen? So Karen, I've got to say, you have been, this is again showcasing your genius here. Tell me, why did you call your company Hub Fizz?
Well, this was sort of a branding session that I did with the lovely Lynn Stainthorpe from Big Idea Brand Marketing, and the hub came from sort of looking at values and things that you do and everything. So the hub part was like came from a number of things like community. I love sort of working with the community. And it also sort of reflects a central place where everything comes together. So I see the website as your hub, where everything is, comes in together to that central place, from where you can basically, control everything, and you've got customers coming in, and you've got stuff you're sharing out. And then the Fizz basically came sort of, love of nature, love of water. It's kind of the bubbles you get in the ocean that gives life to the sea and the animals and the creatures and the plants that live in it. But it also sort of reflected, I suppose, the online marketing that you do and the promotion you do, and sort of just adding that extra spark to and personality to your business.
So I think we're seeing it a lot more now. Again, this was how many years ago that you came up with Hub Fizz?
Oh, I think we're going back to 2014.
And so I think now people are more aware of joining the dots, connecting the dots. So what do we need it to do? What are the conversions? And how are we going to get a result out of this? It's all very well to have a very pretty, gorgeous looking website, but what's it actually going to do? How easy is it for the customer or the client? And we have talked about UI and sort of like UX and how that all takes apart. But yeah, I think that as the expert, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and sort of like what your client process would be. So why, first of all, why drive back? Why is it so important to drive back to the website?
Well, the thing is, you can use this as kind of your online shop, your online window. So, and it's something that you control. Your website's owned by you. It's not rented space where you have to fight algorithms and pay to play. Changing social media channels, trying to follow your clients, trying to keep up with the trends. This is a constant which you can always control. You can obviously, once people are coming to your site, you can control them what they do. So whether they buy from you, whether they engage with you, whether you're giving them information, and obviously you can track all of that through analytics as well. So it really is, it's sort of your whole house or something that people can enter and you can show them around.
Amazing. And I mean, I loved this part of it. And sometimes when we're going through training, like I still am trying to get people and clients to understand, yes, we have to direct you back to the website, or we have to, what's the conversion and how are you going to, I think for me, it was like collect, nurture, and convert. And so tell me how you can best join the dots in your experience with your marketing website and sales.
Well, first of all, I mean, one of the things that I always see people getting wrong, just really sort of basic stuff, is basically looking at all your online profiles, all your offline profiles. So whether it's when I'm talking about online, so any social media, make sure that your profile's up to date and that you've got links that go back to your website. And likewise, whenever you're doing any printed material, business cards, anything like that, your email signatures, all sorts of things like that, just make sure that you've always got links going back to your website. And then obviously when you look at marketing activity, again, driving people back to your site. Obviously, you're not going to always just be sharing blogs which link back to your website. You are going to have other posts where you want them to gauge actually on your social media, but just make it very, always try and put some sort of call to action at the end of that, whether that's to sort of call you or go to a page where they can take that next step, or they can find out more about you. So it's always key to think, like when people have, what marketing activity you've got, is there a page for that on your website? So if you're promoting something in particular, are you just sending them to your homepage? Please don't do that. Try and send them to the direct page, so you're not having to make them work and find what they're looking for. And then what do they do when they get to your site? So what does that page do? What is the information on there? And how do you help them take that next step? Is there a goal for each page, and is there a call to action for each page?
And is it better to theme the page? So when you're looking at your website, so for example, your services or perhaps even your products, it's worth doing a page for, would you say, for each? Like I treat my services page, I break them down and I use them as almost like a sales page, to be honest. That's how I view it. And I think we've really moved along. I remember at the day, again, this is a couple of years back, and everyone was talking about lead pages. And for me, it was like, well, as a small business, I want everything on my website. And I find it super useful, because what I do is if I've just had a one-to-one or whatever, I just give them the link and go, right, this is how it works. I don't have to write another proposal. I don't have to write anything. It just makes it really easy. We've already had the one-to-one chat. We already know what it is that we are trying to get out of the sort of if the possible partnership. So here you go. This is the structure of what it would look like. And so from that perspective, like you say, there's always the book now, or there's the, pay, sort of book for the time or pay for the session, whatever it may be. And it's really moved along, hasn't it? Like if you think about it, everyone was thinking of lead pages elsewhere. If you're seeing a difference, do you feel like more people don't realise they should be putting some sales page content on the website, or does it differ for each client for you as to what their needs are?
I think it does. People used to have sort of hidden pages, like landing pages, which were not necessarily accessed from the site itself, but they may have driven to it from a piece of marketing or social media campaign or Google ads and all that, and that's fine, because obviously you can that the people arriving at that page are only coming there from one specific source, and you can really be targeted and really track that and know if it's working or not. But just in general, I mean, any sort of page you have on your website, it should be essentially a lead or sales page. Give them the information that they want. So make it fit. The content is really key, because you've got to make it feel special to them, that they know they've arrived in the right place, and also have enough information that they can make an informed decision, and also you can filter out that way as well. So quite often people put very little information on there, and then you've got to go, oh, what do I do next? I haven't got enough information. I've got a call or whatever, and they might not feel ready to do that. So give them enough information, or link to an FAQs page, or have linked to some blogs that are going to help them find out more about that service. Obviously, you can have an overall, I mean, you're doing it right, so you can have an overall services page, but then off that, it's always good to have individual pages so you can share that link directly.
This brings up the whole question about prices, putting prices on the page. It's like, yes, it would drive me nuts if I try and go and visit someone going, right, I just want to know how much it is to work with you. Don't really want I just want a basic overview. And just little things like that, it just speeds it up a little bit more.
Definitely, and filters people out, doesn't it? So, so people know, well, you haven't got that awkward sales conversation about, someone rings you up and then they go, okay, well, I'm really interested. What's your price? And you tell them, they go, oh, no, that's way, I can't do that. And I'm not saying it's a waste of conversation, because there are people who go, okay, well, I know there now how much it costs. I'll go away and I'll save for it.
Yeah.
If they really want to work with you. But it just makes life so much easier. I mean, if you went to buy a product online and they said, "Oh, give us a call and we'll get our sales team onto you," you know what I mean, to tell you how much it is, it's going to put you off, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so anyway. That's a personal thing for me.
I think so, but it's one of those conversations where we still see that conversation. Like I just saw this again online about do you put the price on for like an event? It's like, well, why wouldn't you? Like, again, if it's a conference, I think they're thinking, oh, it's quite expensive, but no, if you're showcasing the value, then you should do it, and it just again speeds it up. So let's talk about some of the tools. So how do you, when you're working with your customers and your clients, how do you help them take that next step? And what sort of tools do you recommend that they use to help automate that process?
So you've got quite a number of things that your call to action or whatever could be. So you've got email sign up, for example. You could have a lead magnet, or just tell people, what is it they're going to get if they sign up to email. Why should they sign up, how often, and what's the value? If they're going to buy something, you've obviously got payment buttons. You can do simple PayPal buttons. You can create a shopping cart. So things like with WordPress, I use something called WooCommerce, which is very popular, and it's got lots of add-ons. But you have got simple things, simple Stripe payment buttons, various little plugins which make it very easy. Some people just link straight to Eventbrite. I mean, Eventbrite do such a great job of promoting events, that you could link just directly to that. You've got things like Inquire Byte. So you've got forms, so all various different types of forms and plugins. WP Forms is one, Ninja Forms is another.
Is this all just for information, to put the information in, or?
Yeah, so people who want to inquire or find out more. Some people don't like getting on the phone, or they don't want to schedule a call or something like that. They just want a bit more information. So they can either directly email you, or you could use the form. Again, you could use the form to filter out certain things, or just find out a bit more information about them before you do schedule that call. So you're trying to work out whether the person is a fit as well. So forms can be really good for that. And then in terms of schedule a call, there's things like Calendly and Acuity. So again, you're kind of automating that process, and you're making it less work for you and less work for them. How many times have you tried to organize a meeting and it's like email back and forth? Oh, can you do this day? No. Oh, no, you can do that day. Oh, no, I can't do that day. What about this? And it's back forth. Whereas something like Calendly, you just put in the dates that you're available. They just book in a time. It adds it to both your calendars. You both get an email with a link to Zoom or whatever you're using, and then you meet up on the day. Really easy. And so one of the other tools I find, and this is something that people don't use a lot, is especially if you've got a blog. Okay, so people read the blog and it's like, right, what do I do next? That was a really good blog. And they may have come to a blog, they may have just Googled you and found a blog that way. They haven't come directly to your site, just typed it in or something like that. So it's like, where'd you go to next? And a perfect example of this is a client of mine, Cambridge Food Tour. And she looked at the analytics. She was, she was quite good at looking at analytics all the time. And she hadn't done it for a little while. And she went and looked, and there was one page which was like Cheap Eats Cambridge, and it was like 527 hits compared to sort of in the tens or whatever for other pages. She was like, oh my goodness. But then they were just bouncing off the side. So she went and then looked at that page, and to realize it was out of date. There was no call to action or anything. So she really sort of revamped it, refreshed it, added all new content, and then at the end put a call to action to book on her food tours. And straight away she started seeing conversions.
That's amazing.
So it's just thinking about little things like that, and obviously looking at your analytics can help, because you can see where people are landing and what they're doing after that.
That's amazing. Those are great tips. And I would love to say this, but can you automate everything? Is it possible? How much
No, there's not, well, not that I know of, because obviously you've got things like you need to update the back end plugins and everything. Obviously you have to receive an email and you have to action that. So you can automate quite a lot of it, but there's definitely going to be some sort of manual input. And yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, if you know, if maybe with sort of all the new kind of AI and everything, maybe artificial intelligence, maybe you will be able to. But you know, a lot of people have, for example, you've seen on you know, if you go to your sort of broadband provider or phone provider, something like that, and have the web chat, and they have a bot there, and they've got quite clever at answering your questions and then pointing you off in the right direction. But sometimes it can be quite frustrating because you're just like, I just want to speak to a person. So yeah, so there are these tools. I mean, you've got WhatsApp little plugins. You've got, you know, the Facebook Messenger plugin where you can, you know, chat with people directly on your site. But yeah, there is going to be an element of manual stuff that you have to do as well.
But it's, do you know what you've just brought up in the previous answer, actually, and important to stress, it's not just important for you to automate this so it's easy for these potential clients or customers. It's also important for you, because ultimately, like, that is more freedom for you just by doing that, or booking a call, or just by having that sales page ready with the call to action. It just makes it super easy for somebody to say, right, I know what I want. Okay, let's just go. There's no going back and forth, like you say. And I love the fact that where you were saying about you can vet your customers, you can see if they qualify in a way, sort of maybe the services that you want. That's saving you a lot of time and heartache when you know that they're not the right ones for you. You know, luckily I tend to do quite in-depth calls before, but I've certainly realized that with the sales page now, it's like, this is very clear as to what you want or how it's delivered. And then you have that maybe 30-minute, if it is an hour call, then fair enough. But, you know, at this point, you know that you've already spoken to me. Here's, I've done it. And it's super fast as well. A link.
Yeah. And another really good tool, just the last one I wanted to mention, was doing a quiz. And this has got quite popular in recent years, but I mean, it's been around for ages. So I did a quiz for a client a few years back, and they wanted it to go in 3 different ways. So you answered yes to something, and then it would take you a certain way. If you answered no to something, it would take you off another way. So by the end, there were 3 different results. You either called them up and made an appointment, you went to their blog to read more information, or you bought a product. So again, you know, I've been working, one of my clients marketing for hippies. He's just, I haven't done the quiz for him, but he's got a membership and there's a lot of information. So he's now creating a quiz where people can put in what their needs are. You know, is it about my niche, or is it, you know, do I need help with my copy, or do I need, you know, help with, you know, certain parts of my marketing or my business model? So you can start putting all these in, and then it will take you to the right place, to the right information. And again, there's different ones like Thrive Quiz Builder and Fluid Forms. There's probably loads out there. But you can really sort of make it easy for the customer, but it also makes it easier for you.
Oh, this is brilliant. That's a really good fun element, isn't it? I wouldn't have, I have heard of a quiz, but I just wouldn't think about it as how to direct people, you know, in that way. I mean, it would be more like, you really need the service. Like, what's the...
Yeah, but you can use it like that. So it's not, you can use it to your advantage and their advantage. So, you know, if you want to direct them to particular, so they go like, okay, well, I need this, you know, what kind of help do you need? Or, well, I'm really struggling with this. Okay, they tick that, you send them down that funnel. If they tick the other one, they go down another funnel. And then whatever the result is will be hopefully what they need. So whether that's, you know, one of your a certain package of yours, or give you a call, or, you know, book in a one-to-one, so you could direct them that way. So I think, yeah, quizzes, I mean, I've been meaning to do one on my site for ages, but I think they're quite exciting. So I'd like to do more of those and look into that.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for that insight. I mean, you know, this is why we do what we do. We've been doing this for quite some time as a our guests that we bring on, and it's to showcase, especially if you're starting out, or you've had a small business and you're sort of like getting stuck. It's not so much, some of these ideas you might already know, but sometimes I love the fact that this is such a good refresher, because every time I'm even listening to it going, actually, have I done that yet? We're so busy that we're like, oh, actually, that's a really good point. Is it time to review? Sometimes getting back to basics, whether or not you're like a year in, 5 years in, 10 years in, plus whatever, it's always really good to go back and go, right, who's looking after that? Let's make sure that this is what's working. So I think it's super helpful. So thank you very much for sharing that. And hope you found that of interest. And again, you comments underneath, or get in touch with Karen. We always put our contact details underneath in case you need any information. Check out her website. And then what I would say is, just let us know if you have any questions. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, so that you can see when we're next live. And then, yes, we will say thank you for your time, and we hope that this has been of help.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes, speak to you soon.